Life is a beautiful mess. Relax and close your eyes just for a while. You see the whiteboard, the canvas? There's a canvas, see, in front of you. And a pen. Take up the pen and point a few dots on the white paper. Randomly, here and there, all over. Don't try to arrange them in order or align them in a pattern. Just go with your whim. Just go. Hit a mark anywhere you want. How many? As many as you can, brother. Because the number of dots doesn't matter. Just go for it. Brother, I see you are almost done. Okay, it's enough for now. Tell me, looking at the canvas and those points, do you see any pattern, a special pattern to be precise? No. Why not? Because you mark them with your heart, not with your mind. The mind cannot analyze anything which does not show a pattern. The mind cannot form a clear perception of a random arrangement. It can only figure out patterns, that is, repetitions of the same set of points with definite periodicity in time, a definite arrangement in Euclidean space, a space where you can assign unique coordinates to every point. So, having done this, what's next? You see, my friend, even I am getting restless in this short while. So intense is the human tendency to figure out an order, a pattern, a sequence being repeated over and over again. But still, I live of the age. I love to go upbeat. I love being nonsensical at times. You know, one of the enlightened saints of our ancient monastic order once said, as conscience emanates from nescience, as the supramental consciousness has its roots in the dark and desolate terrains of ignorance, so do anything and everything that makes sense to the human mind must have their roots in the realm of the nonsense. Be careful here. Don't misinterpret. The so-called sense and nonsense refer to that which our sensorium perceives, our sense organ, that which our cognition analyzes, and that which are tagged as being sensical or nonsensical. Those are being done by our surface consciousness, the outer labyrinth of our mortal being, the tip of the iceberg in the oceanic depths of the being. My brother, you have drawn this random set of points in broad daylight, under bright sunshine, right? So please be patient. Bear with me for a while. Let's wait for the dusk, the twilight. Let darkness descend on God's green earth. And in the meanwhile, let's get acquainted with each other. Well, I'm Ipshito Chakraborty. I'm a technocrat. My specialization is in information and communication technologies. I did most of my higher education in the UK. I work as a research coordinator in the Gerontology Technology Research Division, CMIG, Calcutta Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology, an organization which has dedicated his entire time to the cause and care of the elderly citizens of our society ever since the last 3 decades. We are the regional partner of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. I'll be back with more information about our organization. Just for the time being, you can hit our portal www.cmig.in. You can also see my personal LinkedIn account, where you can see in details how we are leveraging technology for the well-being of the marginalized, the downtrodden, the BPL section of the 60 plus age cohort in our daycare center. These are all beneficiaries of our daycare center. I'll do another video on them only. So it's about time, my friend. Come, let's take a look at our canvas. See, it's dark. The vast expanse of the sky is so fresh and clear. And look at that, heavens galore. The beauty of it. The sky with her beautiful night robe has adorned herself with a silver lining of twinkling stars. It's as if Mother Nature has manifested herself in the most exquisite manner. But where is our canvas? The one which was also studied likewise with random points, random dots, no order, no method, no pattern, simply a mess formed by a conglomeration of haphazardly placed dots. I can find it. It is no more, it has faded into oblivion. I think you are now getting the implications of this play. Our daytime canvas has become the nighttime sky. The backdrop has changed its shade and dimension. The dark has replaced the bright. Silver studs have replaced randomly arranged dots. But the stars seem random as well. I am not an astronomer and I simply don't see a pattern out there. Can you? Well, if you ask me what our canvas looked like, I would have said it was a mess. And if you ask me how the star-studded sky looks like, I would definitely say beautiful. So what was mess at one time has become beautiful at another. This is the essence of duality, the magic of multiple realities coexisting in a grand confluence. Modern science has ascribed the name quantum superposition to this phenomenon. You know, the scientific pursuit of dualistic universe first germinated in the works of Sir Isaac Newton. His laws of motion laid down in lucid terms in Principia Mathematica. To every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Just a few words, so simple yet so poignant. These few words brought about a revolution in the scientific fraternity that percolated everyday lives of the common mass, cementing and stabilizing a concrete and tangible perspective on the workings of the mysterious universe. Since then, science has evolved at a breakneck speed, my friends. And the latest revelations in superstring theory, they say, it's the principle of supersymmetry. They say everything is symmetrical. Everything in the universe comes in pairs. Yeah, everything in pairs. There is no light without darkness. No positivity without negativity. No hope without despair. No knowledge without ignorance. And finally, no life without death. But why so? Why dual? I have heard things like, it takes two to operate and one to sustain. But that to me, at least, is far from being satisfactory and insufficient to quench my thirst for an explanation. It took me very many years, to realize that the answer to this why is already there. It is there within the element of my being. It is in the blood that courses through my veins. Listen to what the Mandukya Upanishad has to say. Compose yourself in silence. Draw your mind inwards. The wisdom you seek lies within. So my friends, I will now cite a few incidents from the past, experiences of some of the families whom I know, and also some experiences of my own life. Because without knowing the dark, one can never step into light. Joy and suffering go hand in hand. So does the urge to expand outward and the tendency to explore the inner milieu, the world within, which projects the world without. Everything that is gloomy and desolate must have a luminous and intense dimension coexisting with each other. Swami Vivekananda said, when affliction seizes the heart, when the storm of sorrow blows all around, when it seems light will be seen no more, when hope and courage are nearly gone, then, in the midst of such great spiritual tempest, the light of the Brahman within gleams. This is life. An electric dipole, a flux of energy flowing from positive to negative poles, is the crux of vital energy, which Carl Jung said lay within. Life is a perennial. Everything that starts must have an end. Everything that is transient, which appears and disappears, and then again reappears, must have a meaning for its presence. As if it is trying to say something. Yes, my brother, life is trying to say something, some message, the source of which is hitherto unknown. But what is it saying? What is it saying? In which parlance? In which language? Why can't I understand? Not even an iota of it. You know why? because I have long forgotten the language of the heart which is the primary communicating organ. But I am a human being and do not give up so easily. I keep hanging on to dear life. Why? Why is it so special about life? Well, as Gautam Buddha said, life is all about suffering. We need to extend a helping hand to those who are in need, a need with the fiery urgency of now. They need food, they need clothing and other basic amenities of life. They do not need a metaphysical or a philosophical conjecture. But my friends, I am no philosopher. I am a man of science and technology. I am not a protagonist of metaphysics and way too far to give conjectures like a saint or a prophet. Because I ain't a saint, I ain't a prophet. I am just an ordinary man. So why am I here? To be honest, I am here for myself. I am here to share my experiences with as many of you as I can. Why do I insist you to listen to my experiences? To be honest, my brother, I really don't insist anything. Having had a chance to share in this new world order of information age, I want to share, for I have been longing to do so for very many years now. And also somehow, I feel that some of you at least some of you will be able to identify and relate with my story. What good it will do, only time will tell. Why is sharing so important? I think it reduces the burden. Somehow, somewhere deep down I know that the person I am sharing with has the same psychic get-up as me. Isn't it? All of us are alike. I feel so. I do not think so. He is not a smartphone, not a smart gadget. He is a human being and so am I. He feels what I feel. He knows by the same process as I do. He is going through the same angst of life as I am. The inner being, the homunculus in each one of us is the same. Same in me, same in him, and same with everyone else. Okay, let's get back on track. We have been deviating. Listen to this. In the community I live, there is a widower, a mother of a single child. She struggled a lot ever since she lost her husband. She is a very good friend of mine. Seldom have I seen a woman with such an unremitting fighting spirit. She is charming, she is well spoken, highly educated, and liked by all. She is also an artist and talented animator who has helped me in my work on many occasions. A few months back, it was morning. I was about to start my car and head towards my workplace when I saw her helping her daughter with her school uniform. We saw each other and smiled. Her cute little girl waved at me with an Elysian smile, a smile that I will never forget. A few hours into the day, I was busy and got a phone call from one of my neighborhood friends who said, you know what he said. Still my voice trembles at this. He said that the little girl has met with a severe accident and is no more. The girl waved at me just a few hours back, smiled at me, such a cute smile. He's no more. There it was. I was walking on a lush green field and suddenly, out of the blue, I got struck with a thunderbolt. Out there in the midfield, in a blink of an eye, I got stripped off of everything, all flesh and blood gone, only the skeleton remains. And this will also wither away with time. What did the woman do? What wrong did she do? She was all alone. She was nice to everyone. Could she maintain sanity? How intense is her trauma? But what I saw, friends, was something out of the world. Something which I so far believed to be beyond the capability of a mortal human being. But I saw it, I felt it, I perceived it, and I know it to be true and real. In fact, it is the epitome of truth and reality. After the last rites and the mourning got over, this lady underwent a visibly profound change in her persona. With whatever savings she had and with a slight bit of help from our community, she built an orphanage and dedicated herself entirely to the service of these children, absolutely free of charge. She would say to me that a child has never died. She sees her daughter in each and every one of those orphans. As much as I need my daughter, she says, these children need a mother as well. I asked her what really happened. Have you seen God after your daughter's demise? Has the Lord given you a direction? For she said to this, I still find hard to believe, although I know that is true. She said that she felt so miserable at home. Every evening she used to visit the temple, where she felt light-hearted, a bit cheerful, focused, as long as this ritual of this evening Vesper service continued. But when she started heading back home, her heart would become heavy. She would cry and scream, and her voice would choke, and she would cry silently. One such evening, she was heading back home when she felt, in fact, she saw a street dog following her right from the temple. Usually she is afraid of dogs, but that time, strangely enough, she wasn't. Rather, she felt a connection with the doggy. The heart speaks unto heart in the language of love. Spirit speaks unto spirit in silence. Come with me, my beloved. Come to my place where I live, she said. Now I know you are God sent, and from now on, you will be with me always. I will give you a place in my heart as long as my heart beats. I will feed you as long as I can feed myself. When I am struck by an extreme disaster, my egoistic self, that is the self that I relate myself with in the societal context, falls apart. So extreme is the pain that it cannot withstand it and gets shattered to millions of shreds. Then only, the grand canvas of the real self starts unfolding. Remember the canvas with randomly placed points? The mess got metamorphosed into a work of a divine artist only when the canvas flipped its shade and dimension. The background changed from bright to dark, from finite to infinite, and the entire perspective changed. This is duality. The Bible says, all men are sinners. And the Upanishad says, we are all children of immortal bliss. Immortal bliss. What a sweet, sweet name. Both are true. And the truth is one. The solitary swan and the voiceless wonderland. If one is truth, then one is all that there is. Because truth cannot be fragmented. It exists as a whole. Truth remains regardless of space and time. We have given a symbol to it and ascribed a name to it. The name is infinite. And the symbol is a mathematical figure which represents infinity or infinite. Anything, if it is a thing at all, and if it's infinity, then she can manifest herself in infinite number of ways. The one expresses himself as the two, the electric dipole of life. The dipole manifested by the monopole which common mass referred to as God, higher power, omnipresent being, etc., which science refers to as a singularity. And this singularity has been proven and validated to exist not only within the black hole, but it exists everywhere. It is omnipresent in space and time. That means singularity also exists within each one of us. But infinite is not a thing, not even a no thing. And it was never born, nor will it die. It is immortal. It is eternally still. No movement, no change. It is as it was. It will be as it is. What kind of a paradox is this, my friend? What kind of paradox? We are mortal beings. We are born, we live, we move, we change, and we die. And yet we say immortality is within us. It is to be found within us. Who are we? What is my true identity? In my childhood days, I frequently asked myself these sort of questions. I used to trade in the fantasy land more often. Not exactly who am I? I didn't ask myself who am I, but more abstract questions like why am I? This is because every time the query who am I popped up in my mind, an immediate and almost automated response would come to the mind, would come to the fore. Who am I? I am everything. Having said this, did I really feel that I am my mother, I am my father, my sister, my beloved friends? No, brother, absolutely not even by a far cry. So what did I feel? Well, in one word, I felt familiarity. Everything and everyone around me seemed so natural, so true, so familiar, as if I myself am accustomed to all that I see, hear, feel and perceive, as if my existence, the very fact that I am here, ensures the existence of all that is around. As if the kernel of my being is programmed to harbor everything else, and this everything else gives me a new identity, a part of a whole on, or a whole manifested in different forms. Singularity expressed in terms of multiplicity, the touch of the one in the play of the many. But the other face really troubled me. Why am I? Even to this day, I remember vividly a recurring feel that I am trying to express in words for the first time. This is my first attempt. Chances are high, I'll fail it, I'll go astray. But please be a bit patient with me. I can relate. No. I can feel that I am somehow hardwired with my surroundings. I am hardwired with my surroundings. The being within is somehow entangled with all that is without. Many years later, I learned that this phenomenon has a scientific equivalent known as the quantum entanglement. Let's not get into this for the time being. Well, to a childish, illogical mind like mine, it makes perfect sense to envisage that my absence will be the absence of everything. I hold on to this view even at the time I started science. I started studying science, logic, history, each of which highlights the common and basic fact that the universe does not cease to exist due to the demise or disappearance of a single individual. See how simple this logic is? It is textbook logic. Compare this, weigh this logic with my irrational, illogical belief that I am, hence everything else is. But when something persists and keeps hampering the mind, come what may, as if it is a final sanction of truth, some version of truth, then it must have some existential meaning and not merely a fantasy of the mind. Well, my friends, I have already placed multiple questions on the table, and you may feel that such questions can only be answered by deep philosophy or by abstract metaphysics. No. It can be answered by simple logic, by realization, by perception. Tell me, how does a human mind detect a pattern? How? Let's consider a rope, okay? A rope with equally spaced colors of green and blue and green. Our eyes see it, it gets processed by the brain, and an imprint of the rope is formed in my mind, in my neural circuit. This imprint is a real-time replica of the rope. Mind it. Real-time replica. That means if the rope starts moving and revealing the alternate shades of green and blue, the imprint will move with it as well. It will also start changing shades, alternating green and blue. We have a database installed in our minds where all prior knowledge is stored. By referring to this database, my mind knows it is a pattern. So you see, the mind makes an imprint and identifies itself with the imprint. That is, the mind becomes the object to know the object. This is knowledge by identity. If I can relate with something with absolute clarity, then I can identify myself with it. It is a sort of elimination or nullifying subject-object dichotomy. The object merges in the subject and becomes one with it. Hence, the subject knows that it is not different from the object, rather it is the object as well as its subject, an integrated whole. They cannot be broken down into components because there are no components. It is an one unfragmented, inseparable being. Listen to Professor Max Muller's quote. When the an empirical understanding of things rises to a scientific knowledge of things when the mind perceives beneath the multiplicity of these singular elements the unity of an organic being. So, creating an identity is a process, like creating a brand, and it takes time and effort. In other words, you need to work, and your work creates an identity. Work done by you creates your identity, your ID. When I was a productive member of our society, my work created a social ID for me. After retirement, when I am no longer bound by social responsibilities, it is then that I start to know my real ID, my real self. I seek for it, so my entire life can be visualized as having two halves. The first half of my life, I create. Second half, I seek. I create my social ID. I seek my real ID. Creation and seeking, seeking and creation. This is all that life is. Ether and essence of human existence, of human endeavors. I create to seek. I seek to create. I feel, my friends, the grandest of all human endeavors is to assist a person, particularly a senior citizen, to do what she values most, to help her in her journey, her quest to get in touch with her true self. As long as she can do what she wants to do, she will be leading a healthy aging. Healthy aging as defined by WHO. WHO has declared this decade spanning from 2018 to 2030 as a decade of living a healthy aging. It is a global call, my friend. Each and every nation on earth should strive to create a scalable and replicable methodical and algorithmic plan of action to promote healthy aging according to the socio-cultural backdrop of the nation itself. Only then it will spread each and every corner of the demographic profile and resonate with the national population and bring out a mass awakening. This is our mission and our collective dream. Whatever I have said today, try not to remember or memorize, or rather, let it sink in, let it integrate with your system. Allow the sublime to crystallize into a concrete form, a shrine of unity, which shall be our point of departure from the Genesis. Genesis is a tagline of this episode. So the journey begins with faith. We begin to see through our mind's eyes. We begin to perceive by our hearts. My friends, I'll be back again, equipped with the resources that we need in our way forward, and share them with you all. Till then, wish you good health and cheer. Goodbye, and take good care.